Before I even go to the protocols, we are truly humbled. First of all, farewell events or farewell parties, no one pays to come to a farewell party. But you Zambians here have paid to come here. This has truly, truly humbled us for the love and inspiration, hope you've given me and my family. More so, before I begin to recognize everyone else, are the people that have traveled outside Gauteng. From Durban, Dr. Siame here from Durban. I know from Mafikeng, from Newcastle, from any other place I haven't mentioned. So thank you very much. And from Pietermaritzburg. I met them in Pietermaritzburg, I remember. So Mr. Ferdinand Simanya, who's our ZASA president, the diplomatic staff led by General Muziamba, I can't say it, she has to teach me, but I always call him General Muziamba. And thank you for the wonderful speech that you gave on behalf of the diplomatic staff. The clergy, led by Bishop Sami Musepa, Pastor Gideon Kapafu, Pastor Isaac Chivamba, and all the members of the clergy that are here. The senior Zambians that are here, Dr. Pule Mtati, who's here with his spouse, Mr. Simon Chewe is here with his spouse, but Joseph Kawimbebeshi, I only saw him alone. And many senior Zambians. You inspired me, you gave me hope, you gave me direction. And the leadership that people see is out of consultation and respect. So I endeavored to reach to as many people as I could. My wife, Mrs. Emmanuel Mwamba, my partner, thank you, I recognize you. Mr. Benson Lungu, who's a vice president, and he's also from out of town. Mr. Lungu, where are you? Yeah. I think he's from Mafikeng. Mr. Sidney Njamba, I think he's seated at the back. He's a chairperson of the PF South Africa. Thank you, Mr. Njamba. Mr. Zozi from Rustenburg, like I said, Dr. Felix Siame here from Durban, Mr. Banda who came from Nelspruit, Sheila and her team from Newcastle, Maya Lupinda, I've recognized from Pietermaritzburg, and the Zambia South Africa Business Forum, Dr. Chiara Chiumi are here. She spoke. I recognize you and your entire team. I've got a council chairperson from Kalomo, Madam Gladys Lilanda. She's seated with us there. Madam Gladys Lilanda, stand. I was asking for land. She says, I have land in Dundumwezi. No, Dundumwezi is under leadership, so she'll give me a farm there. Thank you, Madam Gladys Lilanda. She provides leadership in Kalomo, and we are proud of you. For all of you that have turned up, I thank you and that God should bless you. When we were informed that we were coming to South Africa, when His Excellency the President Edgar Lungu, appointed me, I received a lot of congratulations, but I also received a lot of caution. They say, South Africa, the crime levels, do you know that it's the murder capital of the world? Do you know the violence in South Africa? Are you safe? Will you move with your family? The sense of insecurity. And many people are like that. We look at the negatives. And my answer to them would be, why don't you tell me that South Africa is the largest economy in Africa? Why don't you tell me that we can learn from South Africa how it lives together? Various tribes, various races, various people, various diversification, and they live together. Why don't you tell me about that? Why don't you tell me about that it has infrastructure only comparable to Europe and China? Why don't you tell me that South Africa has Nobel laureates and 2 of them this is unique to South Africa, lived in one street, Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu. They lived in Vilakazi Street in Soweto. Why don't you tell me that South Africa has one of the oldest mountains in the world? Why don't you tell me that South Africa has the oldest fossils of mankind found here? That's why outside Johannesburg is called the cradle of humankind. And for me, this is my appeal to you. Every time someone says something about your country, tell them the positives, because they are likely to tell you the negatives about your country. So I arrived here with my wife and my kids on 7th August 2015. And the following day on Monday, I saw on TV His Excellency the President Jacob Zuma then was receiving letters of credence for the new ambassadors. I said, how did I miss this? And we were organizing one of the largest conferences, the FOCAC meeting, the Forum for China and Africa meeting, which was due in December that year. And I asked that then how will I work, because I need to be accredited. And we have this forum where our President Galungu would come, and all these leaders would come, but I was not accredited. So we have our protocol officer, Mr. Samtete. I asked for the details for DECO, the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, and the particular ambassador who's in charge of that, who's in charge of letters of credence. So I went and paid the courtesy call and demanded that she organizes for me as a diplomat, to give my letter of credence to the president. He says, no, High Commissioner, it doesn't work like that. You guys, you will be dealt with, we think, maybe before Parliament in February in 2016. So I said, but how will I work? He said, but you can work. I said, no, Ambassador Loss, I'm from Zambia. So she stood back. She says, the way you speak about your country, as if your country is special or unique or different from the others. I said, it is. Didn't Zambia bring freedom to the region? Didn't Zambia bring freedom for South Africa? Aren't we a country surrounded by 8 neighbors, but we are at peace with all of them? Isn't Zambia a country with the 4 largest rivers in Africa coming from Zambia? The Zambezi, the Luapula, the Luangwa, the Kafue River. Don't we have the Mosotunia Falls? Bazungus call it Victoria Falls. Don't we have the largest man-made lake in the world, Lake Kariba? We are Zambians, we are different. We are not like everyone else. And I said, Ambassador Lossi, we brought liberty to South Africa. You guys lived in our country for 30 years. We deserve special treatment. She said, Ambassador, I hear you, but at least the burden of the president, you need to have minimum 10 ambassadors to be sworn in. And looking at the rate we've received ambassadors, I don't think we'll make it to have 10 ambassadors. One of the issues I started with was prayer here, where we meet on Wednesday, and business forum and other things, the interaction with ZASA. And we put it as a prayer item. And I said, guys, the South African government is telling me that it is not possible that I can deliver my letters of credence for various reasons, but we'll commit it to prayer. And we did. And you will be surprised that a month later we were called to a meeting of letters of credency, and there were 17 ambassadors. And on the 17th, they would call me the captain because Zambia was number 1. Because remember, I came first, the 16 came later. So we had our letters of credency presented within 2 months of the first one, which was like unique. My point is, be proud of your country, ladies and gentlemen. Don't listen to their story. Tell them your story. We are Zambians. This is a land of Kenneth Kaunda. Do they know that Kenneth Kaunda is the only living president from Africa from the 60s? They have statutes which we need to learn and honor our own leaders, but we have good stories from our country. And our role, you know, as a leader, one of the things I've learned, a leader and his followers is like water. If I'm a leader and my colleagues, the diplomatic staff that are here, if I am slow, they'll be slow. If I meander, you know what water does? It flows the vessel. If I'm still, the followers will be still, or my colleagues will be still. And for the stories they say about our country, most of them are not true. I look at how South Africa receives, is it up to 30 million tourists here? And how Cape Town receives, alone Cape Town, up to 10 million tourists. And I've been to Cape Town several times with my wife, and I was saying, where they receive 10 million people. It's just like a mountain, and what do they have? Ladies and gentlemen, our country has wildlife, the big five, still in the world. 1/3 of our country is a wildlife park in natural habitat. If you put together the Kafue, the Luangwa, the North Luangwa South, and the other national parks, 1/3 of our country is that. And it has our wildlife in its natural state. Why is South Africa having 10 million visitors, a place like Cape Town, that only has a mountain? And us that are endowed with these resources are not pulling those issues. For me, hold hands with us. Let's market Zambia. And God bless you. We'll go with your good wishes. Thank you.